Well, hi, I'm Frank Furness, and today I'm in Denver, Colorado with my good friend W.Mitchell.
Frank, always good to be back with you.
Mitchell, you're a legend, and for people now watching this video that might not know Mitchell, very shortly, tell us a little bit about your story. What happened to you?
Had some great experiences in my life. As a young Marine, I served in Hawaii. That's pretty good duty. Started a disc jockey career when I got out of the Marines, and started flying lessons in Colorado years ago. Was back in San Francisco driving my brand new motorcycle, and a laundry truck ran into it, knocked it to the ground. The petrol cap came open and outpoured about 2.5 gallons or 6 or 8 liters of petrol all over me, and the heat of the engine ignited it, so I was burned. And as you can see, burned severely in my hands, my face, a lot of my body. But I came back from that thanks to wonderful people, great people in my life, and thanks to a principle that I share a lot when I do keynote speeches around the world. And the concept is life's a choice. Stuff happens, and then you get to choose how you respond to the stuff. And so my theme, my message, title of my book is, it's not what happens to you, it's what you do about it. But I guess life wanted to test me even more, Frank. So several years later, about 4.5 years later, I was flying my airplane. I'd gotten my pilot's license and gotten a commercial and a multi-engine rating, and was flying my airplane one morning, had crashed on takeoff, had to make an emergency crash landing on takeoff, and I was paralyzed. And I was told I'd never walk again. Well, again, you could say life's not fair, you could say life's terrible, and I'm sure I felt that way at times during those experiences. But again, I went back to that concept of what are you going to do with what happens to you? It's not as if I could have changed it. It's not as if I could have gone back and unparalyzed myself or unburned myself. So the question is, whatever it is, the mental prisons that we wind up in, the mental wheelchairs we wind up in, the internal scars that we experience, all of them, I think, are not maybe fun at the time, not things we wish to have happen, but all are opportunities in our life to say, okay, what am I going to do with this experience? How am I going to use it instead of as an obstacle? Maybe it can be a stepping stone.
Okay, so there's somebody now sitting in the audience watching this saying, I've had something bad happen to me. I've been at work, my child is sick, something has happened to me. They're feeling a little bit bad, they're feeling depressed. You must have been there, right down there. How did you lift yourself up? And I know you went on to do incredible things after that. Tell us how you did that and how you got over it mentally.
Well, I think one of the important concepts, one of the very important things which I've been talking about doing our brief visit, and you know I share with audiences when I give my keynote presentations or in my books or my videos, the concept again that we can't always control our fate. We can't always control what happens in the experiences in our life. And sometimes the experiences are terribly unfair. Sometimes they're just inconvenient. We're having a bad hair day, or we're stuck in traffic, or or maybe we didn't get the pay raise we had hoped. Those are relatively small things. Sometimes they're big things, a disability or a health challenge or a relationship issue. Sometimes those are big things, but they're all things over which at least we can have some control of our attitude about the things. And again, the more time I spend feeling sorry for myself, the more time I spend, I wish I wasn't burned, I wish I wasn't paralyzed, I wish this hadn't happened to me. Well, of course you wish it hadn't happened to you, but it happened. Now you can spend all your time thinking about it, I don't feel good and I don't like it, or you can spend that same amount of time saying, how can I use this experience? How can I get something at least better, if not great, at least something better out of this situation? How can I interact differently with my boss in the future? Maybe there's something I could bring to the workplace that would add more value, that might create an opportunity for an increase in salary. Or maybe I could teach myself something which would allow me to get a different job so that I'm not stuck or feel that I can't do anything else in my life with the current job. Maybe in that relationship I could stop thinking about how wrong the other person is, and maybe I could think about what I could do to make the relationship better. And what if all that happened out of it is I made it better and they didn't do anything? Well, at least that's better than it was before you started, and you have more tools and more skills. People in America love to walk around saying, take it easy. Well, life's not easy. As the Australians know from their former Prime Minister Malcolm Fraser, life's not meant to be easy. Life's a challenge. And then you get to choose how you're going to handle the challenge.
Okay, so here's the thing. Here's Mitchell has been burnt. He's now paralyzed from the waist down. You've got a choice. Either you're going to be positive, you're going to make it happen, or you're going to wallow, say, oh, poor me, you know, what's happened to me. Tell us your story after that, how you got to the incredible heights of where you are now, appearing all over the world, speaking, you're on television, you've written books, you're a world-famous guy. So how did you go from there to there? What did you do?
And it's not, I don't have some magic key that says you just put the key in the lock, you turn it, and now your life's going to be nothing but riches, nothing but complete happiness, nothing but complete satisfaction. Of course not. I still get down, I still get frustrated, I still get angry sometimes. Things don't always work the way I had thought they might when I started the project. But what happened in my life was, thanks to a great support system, thanks to some wonderful people, and again, thanks to the belief system, that I got to decide, choose my responses. Responsibility is a word that we hear a lot, but it really, as American author Stephen Covey talks about, is response able, the ability to respond. As soon as we realize we have that ability, we can do amazing things. After leaving the rehabilitation hospital, where I was paralyzed, and having told a young man before I was paralyzed, there were 10,000 things I could do, now there are 9,000. Sure, I could spend the rest of my life dwelling on the 1,000 that I lost. Or I could concentrate on the 9,000 that are left. And in my lifetime, if I do even a few hundred of those things, I'll be one of the most remarkable people on the planet. And I went back up to the little town in which I lived here in the state of Colorado. And a couple years later, we had a big controversy with a big corporation that wanted to come and actually tear down one of the mountains behind our town and mine the resources in it. But we were skiing in a resort town, and that would have destroyed our economy. So I ran for mayor and was elected mayor of a little town. But somebody put in a headline once that I was America's big-time small-town mayor. And I was in the White House, and I was in Parliament, New Zealand, and I was all around the world talking to people about how we can choose the direction of our life if we put our mind to it. And that led to me being invited to become a speaker. And today, I help people stage jailbreaks. I help people break out of their mental prisons. And by going around the world and being invited to speak in so many countries, many of which I've run into you, Frank Furness, and we've become great mates as a result of it, I get to share with audiences that we have enormous power, and just about all of us have the same power. But it's interesting how some people choose to use it, and some people choose to find a reason not to use it.
And by the way, if you're watching this, and you've got your next conference coming up, or you know anyone that's got a conference, this is the guy you've got to book. He is the most awesome speaker you will ever see. Now let's come back to something else. If we think about goal setting, how did you set your goals, or what ideas can you give to people on goal setting? Some guy's running his big business over here. Things are a little bit tough at the moment. The economy's tough. What kind of process does he go through? How does he start setting those small goals? How did you set your goal, saying, I've just come out of hospital now. This is my first goal. This is my second goal.
Well, I always use the example again in my speaking. We rarely in our life can do it all by ourselves. Rarely in our life can we build the building all by ourselves. We need a mason, we need an electrician, we need a carpenter, we need a person to put down the flooring in the place. There's a lot of things which we can't do by ourselves in our life. And using the resources of books and tapes and videos and audios and the internet and all the resources that are available can help people enormously. Reading material that can teach us not only the hard disciplines and the hard tools of accounting and sales and other things, but some of the soft skills of attitude and self-empowerment. And I think one of the things that I was fortunate to be able to do when I came back from the rehabilitation hospital, I had businesses, I had projects, I had things to work on, not all of which were completely successful, so they gave me an opportunity for a test. And where I didn't have the answer, I found in life there's almost always somebody else who can help you find the answer. But you have to seek that out. And the more time you spend sitting saying, why me, and I can't do it, and this is too hard, is time that could be spent doing the search. And of course today in our internet world, with the internet, there's a million resources out there if you just choose to seek them.
And when you speak about that support system, it's exactly what we did today. There was 5 of us that got together. We had a little mastermind group, and you came up and you said, I want to go from here to here. These are the things. You got ideas. I said, I need some things, and we got help from each other. And that's the way, even in our businesses, that we've got to help each other.
I love to use the example of Tiger Woods. I think everybody in the world knows who Tiger Woods is, the great golfer, the most famous golfer, probably the best golfer ever, or so a lot of people think. I do. Tiger Woods has a coach. Tiger Woods has somebody that helps him improve his golf game. Now, if Tiger Woods needs a coach, there are very few of us who could not benefit from having a coach, from having somebody to help us with our marketing skills, or their technology skills, or our sales skills, or our inner communication skills. The way we communicate with other people can make an enormous difference. And all of those resources are out there and available to people. And people that will sit there and say, well, I'm going to figure it out all by myself. Sometimes you're wasting a lot of valuable time.
So if we have to wrap it up now, it doesn't matter where you're coming from, it's where you're going to.
That's exactly right.
Get a support system around you. Get other people to help you. Sometimes you can't do it by yourself. And the biggest thing I've got from you is your attitude. You've got an attitude. Lose or win, it's up to you.
Yeah, the whole concept, and when people go on, I know you'll be telling people about my website, but when people visit W.Mitchell, it's one word, W.Mitchell.com, there's a lot of free resources there. There are books and videos and things that are for purchase, but there are a lot of free resources, articles and other tools that will be useful, as well as some wonderful links to other great people in the world, such as Frank Furness and a lot of other good people. And when people go to that website, they can get some of the help that they might be able to use to work on attitude, to work on achieving goals. And every time we sit stuck somewhere is a moment that could be used taking ourselves at least to another place, from another perspective, look at it from another vantage point, and see how the challenge might look from that point of view. And again, put a mastermind group together, call somebody, talk to somebody. It's amazing what happens when we choose to do something instead of doing nothing.
Mitchell, thanks so much for your time. And just to wrap it up again, remember W.Mitchell.com. And as well as if you want to get some free resources, why not go to my resources site, www.frankfurnessresources.com. Well, we hope you've enjoyed the video. Don't forget to visit our sites, and there's going to be more to come. Mitchell, thanks so much for your time.
Always a pleasure, Frank.